Yeah, my question for today is just something that I've observed for myself that's kind of been like the most difficult thing that I've been dealing with recently. So my Kundalini rose about 4 months ago. So I'm still quite new to this. And I noticed that my nervous system is so hypersensitive, but particularly it's just acting out in like large crowds and confined spaces, so like airports, restaurants, etc. I think I mentioned to you before that I have this like odd sensitivity to sound, but for some reason it's when it's combined with crowds and confined spaces that I get like a massive energetic headache, and I always get like into some kind of derealization state where everything is just so overstimulated, and I immediately kind of want to leave. And I try to calm myself down if I'm like in social situations and stuff. I kind of try to get rid of that feeling, like name the objects around me, kind of direct my attention elsewhere. But I am wondering from your experience and maybe the experience of people in the chat and just the broader group, whether they found something that was helping them or whether they have any like theories on why people are so sensitive after their Kundalini awakened, particularly in large crowds. I know a friend of mine, her Kundalini rose and she couldn't go on public transport for 2 years. She said she could only drive in her car. So I know it seems to be a common theme, but I'm just like really confused why and how to cope.
hmm Okay. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, you've raised a really big theme that many of us will experience at some point or another to various degrees, of course, which is just general sensitivity, but then, of course, sensitivity to other people, places. hmm So you mentioned here being sensitive in crowds and confined spaces. And at times it can put you into a sort of derealization state, type of dissociative state. And you also said that you want, when you're in those situations, you sometimes feel like you want to leave, get out, escape, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not able to escape or leave, or maybe we're able to, but we, whatever reason, stay, our system has this pretty incredible function, this pretty incredible protective process, which is our consciousness, our awareness can just leave the body and kind of hover above it into a sort of depersonalized, derealized, dissociative mode where we feel some degree of safety from all of the stimulus that may be coming at our body, right? So that's what I gather when you're sharing that. Like your system is so sophisticated that it has this defense mechanism that takes place automatically. Now, of course, it's not ideal to be functioning in a derealized or depersonalized state. It's not ideal to be functioning solely as a disembodied, detached, witnessing presence. It's effective. There's great space there. There's freedom. There's some space that we can take from all of the stimulus of the world, and that can bring some relief. We're not so in it. But it's also the complete opposite of embodiment and integration. And it's, not exactly what we came here on this earth to do in these bodies, which is to be in them, right? And so that's why it feels uncomfortable. So not uncommon for people to experience this. Even outside of a Kundalini awakening, people that are, have suffered from trauma, and if they're not able to escape, they're able to dissociate, become derealized, depersonalized, feel out of their body, and that's a way of our system being able to cope. So some of us may have had this tendency to check out of the body, um, something that we picked up from earlier on in our lives. So we can think about our childhood, maybe I remember for myself when my parents would scold me or yell at me, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't yell at them. I couldn't fight back. I couldn't run, but I could do that. I could check out. And I remember uh, no matter what they were saying to me, I would just be watching them as from a completely detached space, and it felt free. But then I found that as an adult, was also my tendency during times where I was safe. So I had to kind of work through that. So yeah, we're sensitive. Our nervous systems are sensitive, and our nervous systems are our tools for picking up on the energies in the environment, for picking up on cues from other people, so we know how to respond better, right? How to respond with wisdom and consciousness. And for some, we're called to heal and serve, and so we gather all this data through our sensitivity. So that's one take, which I think can be very empowering. Instead of saying, "Why am I so sensitive? This sucks. I want it to go away." We can say, "Ah, this is a gift that I'm learning how to hone and use to be a more to be more skilled in the way that I relate with the world. So that can automatically shift the attitude from victimhood to a sense of empowerment. Um, yeah, the opposite of an environment like that, like you said, a crowded place, confined space would be out in solitude in nature, right? So give your system the opposite of that and really allow that to recharge you and feel the safety in there and allow your body to be on the ground, allow your senses to really come online and center yourself in the heart or the gut or breathe with your feet and really, kind of counter the tendency to want to leave the body by really coming into the body and practicing embodiment in a safe environment like in nature, practicing it. And in nature, we have these great models, which are the trees, which are the plants, the animals, like they're showing us how to be embodied. They don't check out of the body. They're fully in it. They're fully in their form. And so it's a great example for us energetically and things like that. So that's one thing I would say that you can do. There are all the other things that we know about grounding, tuning into our senses, labeling 5 things we see, 5 things we smell, whatever, those types of things. Breathing deeply into the body, and also acknowledging that when that happens to us, remembering we'll come back in the body. We're not checked out forever. We're not derealized forever or depersonalized or stuck in observer mode. We can come back. We can come back. So we can say, okay, this will be temporary. I'll come back. Sometimes it can feel permanent because it feels almost like this. How could you come back? Sometimes it feels like that when you're kind of checked out, but you can remember that you'll always come back. And then of course, having boundaries, right? Say you go out with some friends to the mall or whatever, and that starts happening to you, you may have to say, "Hey, I can't be here anymore. I'm really sorry, but for, my own well-being, I've got to go back home, or I got to go. Can we move? Can we relocate?" You can, speak up and don't put yourself in places where your body doesn't want to be. Eventually, though, at least in my experience, but I'm also not that sensitive compared to some. I can go out in crowds and nothing happens to me or anything bad. I enjoy it. I think it's fascinating. Maybe through little conscious exposure, you can acclimatize your system to being out there. So you say, okay, I'm just going to walk through this busy street, or I'm just going to, go to the store and see how I feel and come out if it gets too much. Like you can kind of ease yourself into it in this sort of practice. I think that's what I've done over the years. But like I said, I'm not as sensitive, but I don't want you to feel like you have to always be like this. It's a process. Your nervous system just had like this huge opening. It's kind of raw and very sensitive, but in time you'll learn how to become more integrated and embodied and feel safe and also heal those, if there are any, those traumatized parts of us that found checking out to be the solution. You'll heal those parts and you'll say, hey, we're safe in the body now. I'm able to protect you. If we come into a situation that's unsafe, we can leave. So we don't need to check out anymore. I can just leave. And your nervous system will catch up and understand that over time. So I hope that can be helpful, Veronica. I know that was a bit of a long